Hello students, welcome to the second part of the first day in the unit circle unit. So here we have trig functions for any angle. So he has given an obtuse angle representation here. I would like to consider an acute angle, so I just drew an acute angle for myself. Consider this as a circle of a radius r and P is a point on it, and there is a ray going on here. So here, and it is actually subtending an angle with the x-axis. The angle is theta. So the radius of this triangle would be r, isn't it? So according to, and if x comma y is a point on the circumference of the circle, then if you actually drop down the altitude, so making it a triangle, then this distance would be x. The horizontal distance is x and the vertical distance y. Then we can easily find that r is, using the Pythagorean theorem, we can immediately say that r could be the square root of x squared plus y squared. So given that information, now we can easily find the trig ratios. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, so it is y over r, and cos theta is x over r. Tan theta is a reciprocal of, I should say, tan theta is a ratio of sine and cos. So sine divided by cos, cosine, so which is going to be y over x. And cosecant theta is a reciprocal function for sine, so it's r over y, and so is secant theta reciprocal of cosine, so it's r over x, and cotangent is a reciprocal of tan, so this would be x over y. So that's how you figure this out. Now he says 9 and negative 12 is a point on the terminal side of the theta. So what you would do is, you see that x value is positive and y value is negative, first of all. So you have to closely observe the points. So x value is positive and y value is negative in the fourth quadrant. So the angle would be this way, and you have to attach the angle to the x-axis. So dropping down, so this would be r, and which we need to probably figure out, because 9 and negative 12, 9 is positive and negative 12 is negative, because this is on the negative side of the y-axis. So having said that, let's look at what is the hypotenuse. That would be 9 squared plus negative 12 squared according to, right, the Pythagorean theorem. I think I'm making a mistake here. No, okay. So this is a 15, right? So this is a Pythagorean triplet, 9, 12 and 15, but negative 12 because it is in the fourth quadrant. So now sine theta would be opposite over hypotenuse, so negative 12 over 15, and cosecant would be the reciprocal of that, so you can immediately write that. Cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Cosine is positive in the fourth quadrant for that reason. And the flip of that would be the secant. Tan would be opposite over adjacent, so negative 12 over 9. And cotangent would be the flip of that. Okay, that's how you do these questions. So I'll move on. I want you to do the second one by yourself. So if you actually observe here, cosine has been positive in the fourth quadrant and not the sine or the tangent and cotangent. So let's look at what's going on. How should we remember that? So usually there is a phrase that we use. We say all students take calculus, and if you see the first letter of each word is ASTC. I grew up learning that as all silver tea cups. Okay, it's up to you, whichever phrase you want to do. Basically, A is for all trig ratios are positive. S for sine, or S for students. So S sine is positive in the second quadrant. By the way, you're going in this direction when you're saying first, second. Still, students have some question of which number is for which quadrant. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So all silver or all sine meaning sine and its reciprocal function cosecant, both of them are positive here in the second quadrant. And in the third quadrant, tangent and its reciprocal cotangent are positive, and T cups C, or the calculus, C for calculus, C for cosine. So cosine and its reciprocal function secant is positive. So all students take calculus is how you remember this information. So in the first quadrant, all signs are positive, all ratios are positive. Here sine and cosine, cosecant, and third quadrant cosine and secant, and fourth quadrant tan and cotangent. Both are positive. So if you see these questions here, he's saying cosine theta is positive in which quadrant? Which quadrant would the theta lie? See, first of all trig ratios are positive in the first quadrant, so you could include first, and cosine is also positive in the fourth quadrant, so it's first and fourth, right? Like here, now tan theta is negative, he's saying it's less than 0, which means that tan cannot be in the third quadrant because third quadrant is positive for tan. So it could be in the other three, but the first quadrant is definitely all are positive. So the theta is not in the first quadrant, so it should be in the second and fourth. That's how you figure this out. Fourth, my bad, my writing is not good here. So this is fourth. Okay, so here if you see sine is negative and cotangent is positive. If sine is negative, it cannot be in the first two quadrants, it could be in the third and fourth, but he's saying cotangent is positive, which is the case in the third quadrant, so it is definitely only third quadrant here. Okay, we'll use this information to actually figure out these. So sine theta is 8/17. First of all, if you see sine is positive, this is positive, there is no negative sign here, so definitely it could be in the first or the second quadrants. But looking at tan theta being less than 0, it cannot be in the first quadrant, so this must be in the second quadrant. Okay, so second quadrant. How would we draw this? So you would draw this as a terminal angle in the second quadrant. So this is theta, and this is a triangle we are looking at, opposite over hypotenuse. So we need to figure out this. This is again another Pythagorean triplet which we just saw. So this is going to be a -15, and so you can answer all these trig ratios here. Cosine of theta would be adjacent over hypotenuse. We would maintain that cosine is negative because of the negative side of the x-axis, right? So that's why I put a -15. And tan would be 8/-15. Cosecant is a reciprocal of sine. You can directly write as 17/8. Secant is a reciprocal of cosine, 17/15 with the negative sign. And cotangent is a flip of tangent, -15/8. Okay, that's how you figure out these. So the ninth one has a radical in it. If the radical comes in the denominator, please rationalize it. Rationalize the denominator. Okay, don't forget to do that. And you can refer to my key for this handout to check out if you are right or wrong. So I want to move ahead. Let's move on. I think this is it pretty much. Oh yeah, this is the end of this class. For day 1 part 2, this is the video. Next time we will learn more detail about how to build the unit circle. Okay, thank you for watching.